Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. It's ItsAnnaLouise here, and oh my gosh, is this blocking your view? Okay, never mind. I dropped my camera the other day and like the lens, part of the lens cover was kind of covering the lens. But anyway, welcome back to a brand new video. I'm so excited to be sitting down here and filming another axolotl video. So today's video is going to be all about if you should get an axolotl or not. Do they make good pets? Are they hard to take care of? Etc, etc. I'm going to share all about what I personally think when it comes to owning an axolotl and if they are good pets to own. Easy, hard. I am excited to make this video because although my axolotl video has been the top one on my channel recently, thank you YouTube, it has blown up even more, and I believe it is the #1 searched axolotl unboxing video on YouTube right now, so thank you. I'm obnoxious today, but anyway, I'm just in a good mood. Anyway, if you want to know what I think about owning an axolotl, are they actually really that great, then make sure to subscribe to my channel before you leave and hit that bell notification so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And with that being said, let's hop right on in. Alright you guys, so Tilly is over 2 years old now. I've had an axolotl now since December of 2018, and yeah, I definitely have some thoughts. So if you are out there right now looking to get an axolotl and you are trying to figure out, like, should I do it, should I not, what are the pros and cons, then I'm here to tell you a little bit about what it's like to really own an axolotl. So first of all, I will be inserting footage of Tilly throughout this video so that you can see her and just not have to like look at me. But Tilly is a full-grown adult. She is chunky, but not in an overweight way. She just is basically the stature of a female axolotl. Female axolotls are going to be more chunky, where males are usually going to be a little more like thin and longer. And when I first got Tilly back in December of 2018, she didn't have a gender, and I have gotten questions like, okay, well, why did you like just call her her and, you know, name her a usual female name? And that's because I just had to guess, you know, like I wasn't gonna make her be nameless, and luckily she did turn out to be a girl, so the name works. But that is a little bit of information on axolotls. If you get one at a very young age, they're not even going to have a gender yet, so that's something to keep in mind. That's not really a pro or a con unless you are worried about names and that's like something big on your list. But I just say go for naming that sucker whatever you want to name it, and you know, let nature take its course. But that's just one thing I kind of wanted to add in on the subject. But when it comes to like actually taking care of an axolotl and what they need, honestly, I think the most expensive part is all of the initial things you have to do. So when I say like the initial things, I'm talking about getting the tank set up with the filter, getting the axolotl itself, and also you know, the food and the decorations and substrate. To me, that is just, that initial thing is what is going to cost you the most, and it will cost you money because axolotls do have to have a 20-gallon tank, 20 gallon to 20 gallon long, either one. I do have Tilly in a 20-gallon. I do know some people prefer the long version of that, but she's done great. You are going to need a substrate, but I will say that depending on the size of the axolotl, the substrate part can wait, because when I got Tilly, like I said, you know, she was a baby. She was born on my wedding date, actually. August 17th is her birthday, and she was just too little. You cannot give them substrate when they are too small because they can digest it and get really sick and die. And not only when it comes to getting sick and dying from a substrate problem, there are some substrates that you just can't have in general, like rock and gravel. Like your normal aquarium rock, per se that you would find in a fish tank. You can't have that for axolotls because no matter what age they're at, it is just going to be detrimental to them and could cause them their life or make them very sick. And I personally don't know a vet that works on an axolotl. I mean, you may, but I don't. And so that can wait, although I mean you can go ahead and buy it ahead of time. But of course, her tank now is fully filled with sand, and I mean the video is up. I have a whole video decorating her tank, so I will link that above. But the initial cost of that tank and the setup will cost you money. I will say Petco does the $1 per gallon sale, and I highly recommend that for buying an axolotl tank because axolotls actually do not need a heavy, strong filter. And a lot of times when you are buying fish tanks, they come with, you know, a filter with them. They come with like the starter kit, the setup pack, and you don't need that because usually those filters are going to be pretty strong. So what I recommend doing is go get that $20 per gallon, you know, sale situation. Go get that tank, bring it home, and use a sponge filter. Use a sponge filter with the valve. You know, you can twist it to adjust the setting on how fast the flow is. They really just need like a soft, gentle flow to make the water go. Because I will say though, axolotls are definitely very, very messy creatures. They produce a lot of waste. So you still want to have that filter going, but just make sure that it is a really low kind of bubble situation. So that is one thing I will say. I'm like literally giving you tips along the way as well, but these are very important things to keep in mind. And really when it comes to a 20-gallon tank and it's a it's a $1 per gallon sale, you know, $20 for a tank is not much. And you can get sponge filters very, very cheap as well, like on Amazon. You can even get them on Wish. I've seen them. And if I keep looking over, it's literally just because I'm looking at Tilly's tank. That's why I keep like looking to the side. But anyway, that is something. And then axolotls as well are going to cost money. Personally, I'm not for sure how much they really go for because I was gifted Tilly from a subscriber who I adore. Like, thank you Vicky again for Miss Tilly. And I'm sure too, you know, they cost different prices based on the type because, you know, there are wild type, leucistic like her, you have albino, then you can get into more fancier things, including ones with the ability to glow. So that's all gonna cost you money too. So it's like, do you have the money to spend? So that's one thing to keep in mind for sure. But when it comes to that situation with money and like worrying about that, I think the initial setup of it is going to cost you the most. And I will give you one really awesome perk, which brings me to the next thing. Food for an axolotl does not cost much at all. Like, I was honestly so surprised. I'm going to show you what I feed Tilly. I've shown this before so many times on camera, including making a whole entire video on what axolotls eat. But let me go ahead and like actually do an overlay of what I feed Tilly. It is just the Sinking Carnivore, yeah, Carnival, that's it, Anna. Sinking Carnivore Pellets by Hikari. So I personally don't want to feed her live like earthworms like you would take to go do fishing. You can do that though. Axolotls will eat live earthworms and that is an option, but these Hikari Sinking Carnivore Pellets are a great alternative to live food, and I just give her around 4 a day. And honestly, this pack right here that you have seen or are seeing right now has lasted me for over 6 whole months. And I mean, I couldn't be more thankful. And not to mention, when you buy it, it's only around anywhere from like $9 to $12. So it's cheap to begin with and it lasts you a really long time. Like I said though, if you do want to feed them earthworms on occasion or as their main diet, you can. A lot of people do as treats feed them frozen live bloodworms, which is, you know, what I use for my bettas. It is not good for an adult axolotl to eat the frozen live bloodworms because it doesn't provide enough nutrients that it needs. It does as a baby, but as they grow, they're going to need more, but it can be fed as a snack. So one really awesome perk to owning an axolotl is that the food doesn't cost much and it lasts a long time. So next, let's get into a little bit about how it is for upkeep of an axolotl. I am amazed, truly, at how the upkeep of Tilly is. They do produce a lot of waste, but the water changes are nothing short of just being like if you would clean a betta fish tank or, you know, a regular fish tank. It's not anything crazy at all. And really, I have found that to be the only like significant upkeep for her that I have had to do. And one thing I love is that she's just an easygoing pet to where I don't have to constantly worry about something going wrong. You just have to really clean their tank like you would do for a fish, and other than that, that's pretty much it. They're very chill. Sometimes, you know, they'll just hang out at the bottom all day, or they'll come up and swim for a few minutes, and they're really just chill. And I have found that they are very, very hardy, and I mean, this is a big knock on one moment, but I have never had an issue with Tilly's health at all, and I'm thankful for that. And I feel like just with the keeping up of water changes, I've been able to keep her healthy, and also by going to a good, having her gifted by a great breeder who I admire for sure, you know, is definitely a plus with genetics. So I've gotten lucky with that, and for the whole entire time of having her, I never have an issue. I don't ever have to go and worry about her like I do with my betta fish. I have, you know, stress about how they're doing a lot because they get sick easily. But an axolotl is something that you're really not going to worry about getting sick like every 2 seconds for no reason. So that's a really, really good perk. Now, one thing to keep in mind, but I have never had a problem with, is that axolotls really do need cold water. They need it really, really chilly. And if you live in a very hot climate, which I thank the Lord I do not, but if you live in a very hot climate where the water is going to be warm, now this is one big expense that you may have to do. Now, you can put fans over the top to cool the water, but I've heard that that is not the best option. The best option would be to go buy an aquarium chiller, which you can do. So, you know, you can go buy a heater, but you can also buy an aquarium chiller, even though it is very pricey. I've heard that they're very expensive, but if you have to do that to keep your axolotl safe, then it's definitely worth it. So if you live in a very hot climate, that is one thing to consider, and I would feel like that would be probably your biggest area of worry, besides just how much you have to pay at the beginning for everything. But honestly, you guys, that is really it. So the question is, should you get an axolotl? Really, that all comes down to you. Do you want one? Do you have the money up front to buy one and give it what it needs? If you do, then honestly, I think axolotls make amazing pets. I love Tilly so much. She's fun to look at and watch. Looking at her up close, the features of her, and just how axolotls are amazing in general and are super cool. It's just an awesome thing, and I feel like she's super cool. A lot of people ask me about her all the time. She's definitely a conversation piece and beautiful. Like that pretty pink color, like sis, she's hot. Did I really just call my axolotl hot? She's pretty, okay? That's all I'm trying to say. But she's very calm, very, very low maintenance, and I really, really enjoy her as a pet. So I hope this helped and gave you an insight on a little bit of what I think will be the biggest like burden or like thing that you would have to do to take care of an axolotl. And anyway, I hope that that helped and I gave you, you know, good tips. Let me know down below, are you thinking of getting an axolotl soon? Do you already have one? Let me know. I would truly love to know. And what type is it? Always intrigued by that. I would have so many more axolotls if I could. But yeah, you guys, I want to say thank you to my patrons as always. Jeremy, Maddie, Davis, Janae, Casey, Mel, Vicky, Steven, and Vanessa. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for being a patron. If you want to be a patron, the link will be in the description box down below. Helps me out a lot, and you guys get a lot of awesome perks. And with that being said, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It would mean the absolute world to me, you guys, if you come join the family over here. You can do that by hitting my face right up there, and you can watch another video by clicking right over there. That being said, me and Leo hope you have a great day or night or whenever you may be watching this, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye! Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life.